If you are thinking about starting your own service business, there's a couple problems you can make for yourself. One is selling high-priced services to customers that need low-priced services, and the other one you can make is to sell low-priced services to customers that need high-priced services. Either way, you end up with either no money or the wrong kind of clients, which ends up being a big problem for you. If this is your first time here, my name is Ken. This is James. We are the Security Bros. What's going on?
What's up, man?
Yeah.
Nice. Don't sell yourself short. That's my number one thing.
Oh, okay.
Because really, undervaluing yourself and your services can do more harm than good. When you first start your business, you might not have the luxury to charge correct pricing, really. But hopefully you can get at, no one knows who you are. So you're just out there grinding, trying to do what you can to get to where you need to be. So this can cause, undercharging can cause more problems than good. And one of the things is it can make your product or your business seem inferior. And this is something that we've learned is if you have higher pricing, it's going to make your business more money and you're going to be a little bit more comfortable and a little more cushion for the dark times, but it also adds like a bit of legitimacy to your business. And what I mean is this: if your industry has a particular service or product that you're selling, and the going rate is $1,000 for this particular thing, but you're coming in as the new guy on the block and you're doing the $1,000 thing for $100. Sure, you might get some sales, but then those are going to be like the cheap people, the people that are actually looking for like a quality, good thing that most people are paying $1,000 for, aren't probably going to hire the guy that's doing it for $100.
I've had this happen where potential clients were concerned when they saw my quote because it was so much lower than all the other quotes.
Yeah, it's a red flag.
Other people. And so they were very interested in having the service. They wanted to pay the lower price. Of course, they don't want to waste money. But then they just had questions like, you are including the installation, correct? So this isn't just for the parts, or you are removing the old system, yes? Like they're just trying to make sure that we're going to be as comprehensive as the other guys. If they feel comfortable that we're going to give them the same thing, in most cases we're giving them more, like a better service. But if they think they'll get the same thing, then of course they want to pay the lower price. But as you said, it can be kind of scary because they're thinking, there's no way. If everybody else is charging $5,000 for this thing and this guy's charging $500, he's leaving something out.
There's something up.
Which most of the time you are, because one of the
you have to.
Because like you said, if you have the appropriate amount of money, it gives you more cushion. Right. And that cushion allows you to do things for your clients. Like if something goes wrong, like for us, we work in the security systems business. Some jobs we don't make money. Some jobs we lose money. And selling things at the appropriate price means we have the cushion so that we can, if we have to, we can pay people and we can buy the product or whatever we have to do to make that job work out. Yep. Maybe something went wrong. We've talked about this before where we made a mistake and all the cameras got flooded and we had to replace all the cameras and we had to pay the guys to reinstall them. It cost us thousands of dollars. If you don't have thousands of dollars because you didn't price things appropriately, then you might end up just saying to the customer, okay, you know what? You're on your own. I'm so sorry. I'm going out of business.
At some point.
And now you're stuck. You've already paid the money. I'm out of business. There's nothing you can do. Here's another one. This is more typical. Someone comes in low, like they go to do your roof. They say, I will charge this much for your roof. They come in at the lowest price. And then later they find, well, you have some rot on the roof. So if you want us to fix that, though, that's going to be a ton more money.
Right.
And they use the cheap price to get in, and then I can't say nickel and dime because it's actually really expensive. Then they use that as a way, like now they're in, and they use that as a way to get all these change orders and make lots more money.
I was just about to use this as an example because I recently shopped for roofs. I think I've used this in a few videos, so everyone's probably sick of my roof stories. But I dealt with a lot of roofing companies. I got a bunch of several different quotes. One was very expensive, one was pretty good, and one was like really cheap. The cheap guy never showed up to the house and then also never responded. The company that we hired, they were more expensive, but the agreement was that if we need to, replace some more wood or whatever the case, whatever we find on the roof, it's built into the job, it's taken care of. You just know the price is all inclusive. Too low of a price, creates compound issues. Low margins is a big problem, of course, right? Because you got to make profit. That's how any business survives.
Yeah, the only way you can go low margin is if you're selling at a huge scale. Walmart, for instance, has less than 3% profit margin, last I checked. When I was a kid, it was like 1%. I think it was below 1%, and it has gone up since then to about 2.6%. The thing is, it's so low that if they make even one mistake, they might, lose money, but they make billions in profit off a very small margin.
Just that scale.
If you are having a small service business where you only make $10 million, you can't get by on 2.6% profit margin.
So if you're charging low prices and you don't have the money to hire good people, it's going to be a problem because you need a good team to build a business, and a good team wants to get paid. Actually having the money to be able to pay them what they're worth requires actually charging something so you can afford to pay the people. Another issue is you end up in a survival mode instead of a growth mode. Your business is constantly just trying to survive. You're trying to make it to the next month. They're like taking out a loan to get to the next spot or, whatever like that. Instead of actually like thriving and growing as a business, they're just basically just trying to survive.
We started out too low ourselves with the hourly rate. That amount was already too much for our clients. Some of the clients we had kept trying to see if we could do it for less, not for more. We're already struggling at this amount. They will only hire us if we agree to charge less. What we really want to do is charge more. We had to find clients that had more money so that they could pay more, and not just had more money, but they valued what we do more, which meant that they were willing to spend more money on it. Sometimes it's a small difference. It could be the difference of another $5 an hour or another $10 an hour or $20 an hour. It may not seem like a huge difference, but it might actually make a huge difference. It can end up making your business be like way easier to run. We have technicians that go out and service things on an hourly basis. And if you charge another $10 an hour, that might be enough with the amount of service you have. That might add up to enough to hire someone on the team that you need. That makes things a lot easier and makes the business run better, or enables you to get the office you need.
We actually honed the services or the products that we offered and our offering down to a very specific set of things. It was still within the realm of security and was still doing generally the same thing, but it made our value skyrocket because what we were offering was way better than what we were offering before, but for a little bit more money. There might be a way to, whatever thing you're offering, to like tweak it a bit, find something, a product or whatever, if it's a specific service, find a way to make it just a bit better so it has more value, and then you can charge some more money for it.
Yeah, what we did is we started doing subscription-based sales, meaning if somebody wants our system, we only sell cloud-based systems that have a subscription, which means if the client wants this thing, they're going to be paying a monthly subscription for it forever. They really have to be buying in if they're going to work with us, which means you only get people that are quite serious about their security. And if they're quite serious, then they're willing to spend some money. What we had before was you could just hire us hourly for whatever. And it's a bit like we're being the handyman of security stuff.
The handy security bros.
Those guys, like handyman services, even though they do a wider range of things, and in some ways is a harder business to run, they can't charge as much.
We would do camera systems or alarm systems, but we would do multiple types of camera systems, multiple types of alarm systems. So it wasn't that we were dialed into like one particular product line. So,
and we did a lot of subcontract work. If we're being honest here, that was a big problem.
Because we did a lot of work for other businesses.
Obviously, what we're charging can't be more than the company that's hiring us. So it would be like a bigger security company, much, much bigger. They created more demand than they had supply.
Right.
And then they would rely on subcontractors like us to do the work for them under their umbrella for their client. And so we were working for too little to help this company build their business. In some ways that's what I called gravy, because we didn't have to do any sales. We didn't have to advertise. We didn't have to have salespeople. We just accepted the job. And because of that, we could do it at a lower rate because the cost to acquire those jobs was not as high as it would normally be if you have to have people that are doing market. Some of these companies, they'll spend tens of thousands a month just on ads to bring in leads, which they then have to pay salespeople a significant amount of money to turn those leads into sales. And that means that your cost, the amount you have to charge to clients, ends up being like way higher. And having these relationships where we didn't have to do that meant that our costs could be lower. The downside to that, long term, was that we weren't building up our own customer base. We just had these, let's call them a partner, but the partner didn't lead to anything more.
Right.
There's no guarantee they'll keep using us to do their stuff for them. And if they are bad at generating leads and having salespeople that know what they're doing, like, their mistakes could end up being bad for us. I don't want to rely on that. I want to get our own direct clients and build a brand. But that also means, as you said, we got to raise our prices.
You got to raise your prices.
All the way up there.
Don't be afraid of profit. It's not something to be scared of.
Who's afraid of profit? Who is afraid of making profit? Besides the commies.
It's easy to be like, oh, I can't charge the prices because I'm not going to get like the business or whatever, but then you're stuck in that survival loop that I'm talking about.
I get what you're saying. Some people feel guilty for charging the price they should charge. They feel guilty of having a big profit margin because they feel they feel like any money that's above and beyond what it costs them to provide the thing is like extra money that they're overcharging. Right. And
I'm not saying overcharge. Don't,
I'm saying they
make no mistake about that.
They interpret it as overcharging. Right. It feels like overcharging to them because if they knew that somebody else was doing the same, they would feel like they were overcharged.
Right.
And that's because they know what it feels like to be broke. They know what it feels like to struggle and to not have enough money to buy the things that you need. They're thinking, you know what? I feel I'm empathizing with you, and I feel like I'm ripping you off by taking all your money, which is one reason why I say our client, the kind of client we want, is a client that has money. I want successful clients that make a lot of money so that when they're buying our thing, we're not taking their last dollar. I don't want someone's last dollar. If the system they need costs them $20,000, I don't want it to be their last $20,000. Like, oh, my bank account is empty because I bought Ken's thing. I don't want that as a client. Like, keep your $20,000, please. I would rather somebody that has plenty of money so that the thing that I'm selling is not that big of a deal to them financially, and they actually feel like what they're spending is a really good deal for what they're getting.
Charging the correct price, making the profit that you need to make, it's going to allow you to provide a better product to your customer, a better service to your customers. Like we've talked about in this whole video, allows you to hire the correct people for the job, pay them a good wage. It allows you to buy better products, all that stuff. It's just going to make the entire experience better. Charge what you need to charge to where you can provide your customer a great product with value and take care of your team. And you actually have enough money for your business to thrive.
And if you like having everything that you need to thrive, why don't you like this video so we thrive? And why don't you share it so your friends thrive? Bye.